So this morning I was out back with Loki drinking coffee. Loki wasn't drinking coffee. I was drinking coffee. Loki and I were just playing fetch casually with the tennis ball. And he loves the tennis ball more than anything else on this planet. And him and I will play catch for a while, but sometimes he does this thing where out of nowhere, he'll just drop the tennis ball in the middle of the yard. And he will just crouch and stare at it. This is pretty normal Border Collie OCD level behavior. He just crouches and stares. And I need to describe this level of stare to you, because this is not a casual stare. This is a stare like that ball owes him money. It's a stare like it's a Secret Service agent clocking a guy in a trench coat at an airport. It's a stare like a Karen next door watching a group of kids skateboarding on her street. It's pure, it's righteous, and it's really intense. Loki's in this Border Collie crouching position. His whole body is just humming, right? His eyes are drilling holes through the tennis ball. Whatever he sees, however he sees it, he's just piercing this thing. And I'm just sitting there with my cup of coffee, watching him do this. And I had this thought. I swear to God, I had this thought. And I was like, when was the last time that I looked at anything with that kind of focus or that kind of presence? Because I don't know if you're anything like me, I can't pour a coffee or brush my teeth without checking my phone, right? Opening the inbox, scrolling headlines, checking Instagram, scrolling threads, already convincing myself that I'm already behind before the day even begins. But there's Loki just locked in like a sniper, you know? And I'm just checking my email. I'm on Discord, not doing anything. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about focus, distraction, procrastination, rest. I just want to talk about these two liars in my head who just won't shut the fuck up. Have you ever had a day where you tell yourself that you've been busy, but if someone were to ask you what you actually did, you just couldn't explain it? It's like those times when you're driving in a car and you don't remember how you got to the destination. You just kind of have amnesia. I used to have days like this all the time. And usually, here's how these days went. By 9 o'clock in the morning, I would sit down at my desk, ready to go, ready to work. But by 9:07, I'm already on Threads or Instagram. And I'm usually just watching a stupid video about a golden retriever learning how to skateboard. And by 9:15, I've managed to get my inbox open. And instead of emailing the client back, I've decided to click on a Best Buy ad for a sale on iPads that I'm not going to buy. I mean, iPads, man. Listen, I've bought several iPads in my life. Seriously. I've bought iPad minis, I bought iPad Pros, I bought regular iPads. And every time I've convinced myself that this new iPad would make the difference. It would make me productive. But every time it just ends up uncharged and collecting dust on my desk, like little tombstones for ambition. And by 10 a.m., I had already lost hours to scrolling, clicking these news headlines, watching videos, these rabbit holes. And honestly, by lunch, I can't account for most of my morning. And I just find myself in my kitchen reheating a bean and cheese burrito, wondering what the hell happened, where the time went. And maybe during the day I have a client call, 15 minutes. Maybe I respond to a couple emails. But then there's those news headlines, right? Like something happens, breaking news. Then I go on YouTube and I watch YouTube commentary about the thing that happened. And then I get so tired of sitting watching videos about news headlines, I go outside and I throw the ball for Loki again, right? And here's the kicker. By the time 4:57 rolls around, I finally, with the pressure of it hitting 5 p.m., I finally got around to sending the one email that I promised to get out before the quote end of the day to my client. Just 3 sentences, updating a proposal or something stupid. It took me 90 seconds. And here's the crazy part. My brain would be like, good job, pal. It would throw a parade like I just wrapped like a 3-day, 10-hour-a-day campaign. And then later, my wife would come home and she'd be like, hey, how was your day? And I'd be like, it was crazy. It was nonstop. I was swamped, busy all day. But here's my question. Nonstop what? Like scrolling, moving, icons around on my desktop, researching iPads that I was never ever gonna buy and that would never save me. And the truth is, this isn't work. For a long time, I treated this like it was work. But it wasn't rest either, right? It was this toxic middle ground where I felt too guilty to relax because of the stuff that I had to do, but I was too distracted to focus. And it wrecked me. And that's when I realized I'm not even the one that's running this show, right? I've got these liars in my head that just heckles me all day, just telling me what to do. Maybe you have these same liars in your head. Maybe you've met them. Who knows? We'll see. Well, my name is Patrick Fuller, and this is the Terrible Photographer podcast, where we have honest conversations about creativity, identity, and finding your voice. Today's episode is number 29, and we're talking about something that I'm calling the sacred mundane. Because I think we've forgotten how to be fully present for anything, including our own lives. But first, let me introduce you to these voices that have been running my day-to-day operations, like a couple of terrible middle managers from hell. So the first one sounds like Gary Vaynerchuk had a baby with a fitness influencer.
If you're not up at 5 a.m., you're failing. You think successful people sleep? Winners don't rest, Patrick. Winners grind harder than a Starbucks barista during finals week.
I call that asshole Hustle Harry. Hustle Harry wears Allbirds, but he wears them ironically. And he drinks celery juice unironically. The second voice is Harry's enabler, disguised as your bestie, your best friend.
Seriously, you've worked so hard today. Chill. You deserve this. Grab the chips. One more scroll won't kill you. You've earned some Netflix. Besides, this documentary about a psycho mom catfishing her own daughter technically counts as market research, right?
Meet lazy Laura. She's got a PhD in rationalization and a master's degree in making procrastination sound like self-care. Now, you might think that these two are opposites. Harry pushes you towards constant action, while Laura is pulling you towards constant rest. But here's what I've learned. These two are not enemies. They're actually partners. A psychological pyramid designed to keep you exhausted while accomplishing nothing. They're both liars. They're both stealing the same thing from you. Presence. Real presence. The ability to actually inhabit the moment you're in instead of performing the idea of productivity or pretending the distraction is relaxation. And if you've ever found yourself checking email at night, at midnight, or scrolling on your phone while your brain tells you to take a break, or feeling guilty every time you sit down, or feeling anxious every time you try to focus on one thing, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're living in this fake middle ground, and it's exhausting. So, just a couple days ago, before I recorded this podcast, I opened up LinkedIn and I saw this post from another photographer, which I won't name, in another city. This photo was actually pretty cool. Picture this: 6 a.m., morning, golden hour, streaming through his office window like he hired God as a gaffer. This coffee mug, this beautiful red coffee mug positioned with the precision of a product photographer, laptop tilted just perfect to catch that morning glow. The I'm conquering the world before sunrise reflection. And the caption of this literally made me laugh out loud. Quote, day 247 of the grind. 5 a.m. start because winners don't sleep in. Coffee tastes better when you know that you're already ahead of 99% of the people. When you love what you do, it's not work. It's hashtag hustle, hashtag 5 a.m. club, hashtag, I kid you not, hashtag never stop grinding. Hashtag blessed. I can't make this stuff up, folks. I can't. Whew. You know, back in my day, the word grinding meant something completely different than it does now. I'm just going to leave it there. There's no kids listening. I'm just saying, I'm a millennial. Grinding meant something totally different. And I'm sitting there in sweatpants and a hoodie, and I'm drinking actual coffee, really good pour over coffee. Really proud of my pour over because I actually love coffee, not because I needed to stage a product shot for LinkedIn. And I'm thinking, dude, you staged this coffee cup. You probably woke up at least 4:30 to plan this shit out. What's going on with you, bud? What's going on with you? Because this was not shot on iPhone. People, this was not shot on an iPhone. He shot this on his camera. I could tell because of the dynamic range. You know, it was good. Probably Canon, you know, but I'm a little biased. I mean, I will give him credit though. As weird as it was, I will give him credit. The lighting was actually pretty impressive, right? The composition is dialed in. Like he thought about that shit. And he probably took at least 20 frames just to get that steam right. You know what I'm saying? Or he photoshopped it or his AI. Whatever it was impressive, you know? But it really was like watching somebody audition for the role of the guy who crushes his mornings in a movie that no one is making. But he really wants Gary Vaynerchuk to make it. And I really do think this is peak LinkedIn performance culture, right? The weird intersection where self-promotion meets self-help meets networking and Instagram inspo all smashed together into one single overhyped TED Talk about your breakfast routine. And the only audience are other people giving their own overhyped TED Talks about their own breakfast routines. But here's the sort of annoying part about this whole thing. As I looked at it, it caught my attention. It worked, right? I kept scrolling for 20 minutes. And then there's Harry, this liar Harry, right? And he's in my head. He's whispering,
See? That guy's already ahead of you. He knows what's up. You should probably post something too. Where's your morning inspo content, Patrick? Winners document. People need to see your content. How else will they know you exist?
And then Laura slides in, right?
But first, keep scrolling. This is research. You're studying the competition. Totally counts as professional development.
So here I am, 20 minutes gone, sitting in my sweatpants, drinking now lukewarm coffee, feeling like a fraud for not staging my morning or presenting my content as good as this guy on LinkedIn. And that's the trap, right? This guy's productivity theater didn't just waste his time. It stole my time. Harry and Laura weaponized it to make me feel guilty about being a human who drinks real coffee without needing an audience. Now, if you've got a brain like mine, I really feel sorry for you. Because my brain is the ADHD, dopamine seeking, constantly hungry for the next hit of stimulation. The whole dynamic, it gets weaponized against you. Because my brain doesn't want to do just one thing. It wants to do 17 things simultaneously while thinking about 33 other things that I should probably be doing instead. It's like having a browser with 84 tabs open, except the browser is my consciousness and I can't figure out which tab is playing that annoying audio ad about crypto investments. So Harry jumps in with his efficiency gospel.
You should be checking your email and editing this photo and answering that text and planning tomorrow's shoot and researching new gear and updating your website and posting on Instagram and responding to comments and networking on LinkedIn. Multitask, baby. Come on. Maximize your throughput. You're not a machine if you're not running at 147% capacity.
And when that inevitably becomes overwhelming, because it turns out human brains aren't actually designed to run 17 parallel processes like some kind of biological server farm, that's when Laura slides in. Laura the liar slides in with her annoying voice.
Oh my God! This is way too much pressure. Let's take a break. You've been working so hard. This HBO documentary about serial killers definitely counts as research for your next portrait session. You're studying human psychology. It's basically continuing education.
Both of them are feeding off that constant need for stimulation. Both of them making sure that I never actually land anywhere long enough to do anything well. And the science behind this, is actually pretty brutal. There's this scientist, Linda Stone, who coined this term continuous partial attention. This compulsive need to stay connected and responsive to everything all the time. It's like being an air traffic controller for your own life, except all the planes are crashing and you can't remember why you wanted to be a pilot in the first place. And there's actual psychology research that shows that task switching can reduce productivity by up to 40%, especially for complex cognitive work. And every time you bounce between tasks, your brain has to essentially do a micro reboot. Every time you toggle from one distraction to the other, you lose a little bit more of your actual self. But Harry and Laura don't care about the neuroscience. Harry cares about looking productive. He says things like,
But what if someone emails you and you don't respond immediately? What if there's an opportunity? What if your next big client calls you? What if Gary V posts something inspirational and you miss it?
Then Laura cares about avoiding discomfort.
Your brain is tired from all that switching. You need stimulation. This Instagram story about someone's lunch is basically market research about lifestyle photography trends.
They're keeping you busy enough to feel important and distracted to avoid the uncomfortable reality of actually being present for your own goddamn life. But let me tell you about the Tuesday that actually saved my sanity. I was in my garage office editing. I actually have two places where I work. I work in my living room. I don't really have an office. This is California, people. I have a little area in my living room where I work, and then I have a garage office. And I can't work out here all the time because it gets a little hot, right? So when it's hot, I will go inside and work in there. And so this particular day, I was in my garage office editing a tech campaign for some startup that was definitely going to revolutionize the world by making it easier to share spreadsheets in the cloud. Super riveting stuff, world changing. And apparently no one told them about Google Sheets. That's what I was thinking the whole time. But I was locked in, you know. I had this Apple Music playlist called Deep Focus on, and I had Discord notifications from my accountability server pinging, like a smoke detector with a dying battery. I had email alerts chiming every minute for newsletters I'll never read, and salespeople trying to sell me leads, and more Best Buy ads trying to sell me more iPads. And Harry the Liar was conducting his usual sympathy of anxiety.
You could be answering those Discord messages while you edit. Think of the efficiency. Check your email between every photo adjustment. Someone might need something. You might miss your big break. Gary V never misses opportunities. Winners stay connected.
Laura was playing her nice supportive role.
You've been staring at this screen for like an hour. Your eyes probably hurt. Maybe check Instagram real quick. Just a quick scroll to give your brain a break. Oh, look! Someone posted a photo they took 4 years ago for this campaign. I know because they keep reposting it every few months. This is important market research about lifestyle photography trends and millennial consumer behavior.
And then, I kid you not, guys, my AT&T fiber internet just kicked the bucket. Middle of afternoon, gone. Email froze, Discord went silent, every Safari tab just went dark, dead in the water. And for once, it was just me. I felt so alone, you know, that feeling we get when we're not connected to the internet. So I did all that I could do. I opened Capture One, right? Because it doesn't need the internet. And I actually started to do my job just me and Capture One. There wasn't any noise. There's no algorithm. There wasn't any notifications clawing for my attention. How crazy is that? And for about 15 minutes, that's all I got. 15 minutes. I was trapped in single tasking hell. And something incredible happened. Harry went quiet and Laura shut up. And I remembered what it felt like to actually see the work instead of just processing pixels. Suddenly, I could actually see the story. The way the person's hands moved when they talked about their work. The micro expression that slipped out between the posed smile and the real one. The light catching their face in a way that made them look like an actual human being instead of a stock photo called, quote, diverse, professional looking, confident, and modern office space. I hadn't lost my eye for the work. I had just buried it under so much noise I could no longer hear myself think. I'd been so busy optimizing for workflow that I forgot about the actual work. I was so obsessed with performance of productivity that I forgot about what it felt like to actually produce something. And in that forced silence, I found something I didn't realize that I misplaced. Presence. Sacred attention. The ability to fully inhabit what I was doing instead of performing the idea of doing it while simultaneously planning the next 17 things that I would do after. It was incredible. And when the internet finally blinked back on, everything came back online. I did something radical. I left it off. I closed everything except for Capture One. I turned off notifications. And it's embarrassing to tell you the last time that I actually did that. And I finished that edit half the time it usually takes me for something like that. And it was honestly some of my best work in months. But both Harry and Laura tried to make a comeback.
Great. Now you can multitask again. Think of all the emails and messages piling up. You're probably missing something important. Someone might need you. Check your phone. What if there's an emergency? What if Gary V posted something?
Wow, you worked so hard in that focus session. You definitely deserve a reward scroll. Check the news. See what's happening in the world. This counts as staying informed. You're basically a responsible citizen.
But I had tasted something they could never give me. The satisfaction of complete attention. The weird peace that comes from doing one thing well instead of doing 12 things poorly while feeling guilty about not doing 23 other things that probably didn't need to be done anyway. So, you know who taught me the most about presence? My Border Collie, Loki. First, you have to understand Border Collies are bred for being present, for focus and intensity. Centuries of genetic fine-tuning turned these dogs into laser beams with fur. Their whole job is to read very subtle cues and lock onto movement and never let go until that work is done. They are wired and they are bred to take one thing and make it their entire world. And when Loki locks onto a tennis ball or a frisbee, the rest of the world ceases to exist. I'm not kidding. You could walk by Loki with the most beautifully smelling steak. You could wave it right in front of his face. A steak is every dog's favorite thing. It's the thing that would make Loki in any other situation start to drool incessantly. But in this case, if he was focused on a ball or frisbee, he wouldn't even glance up. His entire universe collapses down to one bright yellow sphere of possibility. And he's not performing focus for audience. He's not thinking about focus. He's not checking his phone to see if other dogs have posted their own tennis ball experiences. Harry, of course, would be screaming,
Don't just chase the ball. Guard the house. Check the squirrels. Capture more content. Build a personal brand while you're at it. Winners multitask, Loki.
and Laura,
Oh, Loki, honey, you've chased that ball 6 times already today. You've earned a little me time. Go stretch out in the sun, scroll some scent-based social media. Self-care, babe.
but Loki doesn't listen to either of them. He just locks in. And when the ball is put away, when the tennis ball is gone, the frisbee is gone, he becomes fully present for whatever comes next. There's no guilt about the ball that he didn't catch. He doesn't have anxiety about future balls. There's no performance of being a focused dog. He's just here now, ready for what's actually happening. And if Ram Dass or the Stoics had a dog, they'd probably have a dog like Loki. Because Loki's motto is, be here now. Maybe be here now with my ball. That, my friends, is sacred attention. That's what presence actually feels like when you're not performing it for Instagram or LinkedIn or invisible productivity judge who lives in your head. Here's what I've learned about the difference between being busy and being occupied. Busy feels like being tossed around in a pinball machine designed by someone who generally hates you. Harry and Laura take turns pulling that lever, bouncing you between guilt and not working hard enough and fake rest. That doesn't actually restore anything. You're moving constantly, but never arriving anywhere. You're always on your way to something, but never actually arriving. It's like being stuck in traffic, but the traffic is in your own life. And somehow you're both the driver and the traffic jam at the same time. Occupied feels like choosing the table where you want to sit and ordering the drink you actually want to order instead of whatever the person before you was having. It's intentional. It's present. It's the opposite of performance. Real rest. I want to talk about real rest and what real rest is. It's sacred. It isn't something you steal between tasks while Harry screams at you about wasted time and missed opportunities. It's not something you earn by posting the right Instagram story or by answering enough emails to temporarily satisfy Laura's guilt management algorithm. Real rest, my friends, happens when objectives are met, the loops are closed, the tools are put away, and when Harry shuts the fuck up because there's actually nothing left to hustle about. when Laura goes quiet because you don't need her permission anymore, you're choosing rest from a place of completion instead of defaulting to distraction from a place of avoidance. It's the difference between collapsing into your couch at 11:47 p.m. with your phone still buzzing with unfinished business and 17 browser tabs open to things that you were going to do but you never did, versus actually closing your laptop at the end of the day, knowing that everything that needed to get done today actually got done. Presence doesn't double your output. I want to be clear about this. This isn't another productivity hack disguised as spiritual wisdom. This isn't about optimizing yourself into more efficient human machine that can process more inputs and generate more outputs per unit of time. There's enough bullshit like that all over the internet. Sacred attention changes the quality of everything. The work, it just feels different when you're actually there for it instead of performing it. The rest that you have, it feels different when it's chosen, it's strategic instead of stolen. Even something as mundane as editing photos becomes, well, sacred. Not because the work itself is necessarily holy, but because the attention you bring to it is complete. When Harry shuts up and Laura goes quiet, you're just there. You're fully present for the thing that's in front of you. That's when the real magic happens. Not the Instagram magic, not the LinkedIn magic, not the productivity hack magic, just the quiet magic of being fully alive, fully present in the moment that you're actually living in instead of the moment that you're performing or the moment that you're avoiding. So here's what I want you to try today. Not tomorrow, today. And if you're busy driving or mowing your lawn or going for a run, I want you to do this when you get back. Because tomorrow is when Harry will convince you that you need to research the optimal time blocking methodology first. And Laura will suggest that you probably downloaded 17 different apps and created the perfect environment before attempting this revolutionary concept. It's right now, today. Do this today before Laura or Harry can mount their defense. I'm calling this the Loki method, although you can call it whatever you want to. It's simple. It's so simple, it's stupid. You're going to build a schedule that would make any Border Collie proud. What I want you to do is I want you to pick 3 tasks for today. Real tasks. Maybe it's editing a batch of photos. Maybe it's writing that proposal or emailing that person that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's organizing gear, or maybe it's finishing that presentation or cleaning out your inbox or working on that budget spreadsheet that you've been procrastinating on for weeks. Here's the radical part. You're going to schedule your distractions too. So here's what this looks like. We're going to schedule in blocks. So 9 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. This is going to be your focus block. This is where you're going to edit photos, write the presentation. One task, nothing else open. Do you hear me? Nothing else open. 9:45 to 10 a.m. This is your break block. This is where you get coffee and you scroll. Go nuts. Check Instagram, check your email, see what the productivity influencers are performing today. 10 o'clock, from 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m., this is another focus block. I want you to write that proposal, answer those emails, Do whatever comes next. From 10:45 a.m. to 11 a.m., it's another break. Stretch, check the news, grab a snack, whatever you want to do. Do you see the pattern developing? This isn't complicated, guys. Do you want to know my personal hack for this? This is stupid. I learned this when I was a kid, right? This is the perfect ADHD hack. An egg timer. One of those old analog egg timers that your grandmother had. It's the old school ones. It's loud as hell when they go off. I set it for 45 minutes. That's my Loki time. To completely focus on one thing. And when it dings, I get 15 minutes to be as scattered as my ADHD brain wants to be. But here's the key to actually making this work. You have to protect those focus blocks like they're a client shoot. And here's some really super practical stuff that I find actually helps. Put your phone in another room. Put it on airplane mode. Seriously. If your office is upstairs, leave it downstairs. Leave it in the car. If you work from home, keep it in the garage. The distance matters. It has to be inconvenient enough that you just can't go grab it without thinking. If you can, turn the Wi-Fi off. I know it sounds crazy, but for 45 minutes, you won't die. I promise. And if you need the internet for a task, close everything except for what you actually need. I want you to close all browser tabs except for the one that you're using. Mean it, all of them. That tab about camera gear that you might buy someday, close it. The article that you're going to read later, bookmark it, close it. Tell people that you're unavailable. Put your Slack on Do Not Disturb. Let calls go to voicemail. They won't die either. The world will survive without you for 45 minutes. And don't let Harry convince you that the breaks are a waste of time. You could be using those 15 minutes to network, to optimize, to crush. The breaks aren't bugs in the system. They're features. Your brain needs them. They're like little rewards. And don't let Laura turn the focus blocks into guilt trips. This is too rigid. What if something important happens? What if you miss something? Missing stuff for 45 minutes isn't going to kill you. And if it's truly an emergency, they'll call twice. They will find you. They will get a hold of you. The genius is that you're not fighting your brain, right? It took me so long to find a thing that worked for me. And this is what works for me, right? You're working with your brain instead of against it. You want to scroll? Great. There's time for that. You want to focus? Great. There's time for that too. You want to check if that LinkedIn photographer posted another 5 a.m. coffee performance? Perfect. There's literally 15 minutes scheduled for exactly that. And schedule your rest like it's a client meeting. Make it essential, not earned. Because here's what I've learned, especially since I've been freelancing and doing my own thing. Presence isn't about perfect focus all day long. It's about complete attention when attention is called for. And complete rest is when rest is called for. And here's the crazy thing about Border Collies. Even Border Collies take naps. It's true. Loki takes naps every single day. Out in the sun. Loves it. He loves his rest. Between tennis ball sessions, between his intense focus sessions, he loves to take naps. So it's Thursday night again. The router is still blinking on the wall. I can see it from here, like a digital heartbeat that never gets tired, never takes a break, never questions its purpose. And this time, after I get done recording, the laptop is going to be closed. Not because I've conquered productivity or figured out some revolutionary life hack. Not because I've achieved the Instagram-worthy morning routine of the photographer whose performance I've witnessed on LinkedIn. That'll absolutely never happen. But because I've learned what Ram Dass knew. Be here now. The difference between performing presence and actually being present, between looking busy and being occupied, between fake rest and sacred rest. Harry will be back tomorrow, probably before my first cup of coffee, with his updated list of things that I should be doing differently and better and faster. Morning, champ. Did you see that photographer's latest posts? He's already 3 hours into this day. You're falling behind. And Laura will show up too, with her soothing promises of earned breaks. You've been working so hard, like for 45 minutes straight. That's basically like a marathon in today's attention economy. You should probably check what's happening in the world. But this time, I know their game. I know they're not trying to help me work better or rest better. They're trying to keep me from being fully alive in the moment I'm actually in. They're selling me a fake middle ground where I never have to be completely present for my own life. The sacred mundane isn't about making ordinary tasks feel special through some kind of productivity performance. It's about bringing your whole self to whatever you're doing. Whether that's editing a photo or taking a nap or having a conversation with someone that you love without checking your phone to see if anything more interesting is happening somewhere else. It's about learning what Loki already knows instinctually. When the tennis ball is in front of you, the tennis ball is your entire world. When the work is in front of you, the work is your entire world. When rest is in front of you, rest is your entire world. Be here now. Not in the highlight reel you might post later. Not in the optimized version of yourself that Harry keeps promising you can become. Not in the comfortable distraction Laura keeps offering you. Here, now, in the present moment, the only moment you actually have. So, until next week, friends, stay curious, stay courageous, stay present, and yeah, stay terrible.